Now, let me show you what's going on, though, in Minnesota. This is actually from Sky News. It's sad, but I need to show you what it is.
We're driving when we see a woman at a bus stop.
Help!
ICE agents jump out of their car and pursue her down the middle of a main road.
Excuse me, sir, do you have a warrant for this lady's arrest? Excuse me, do you have a warrant for this lady's arrest, sir?
So you don't have an ID?
She tells officers she's an American citizen. They ask her to show her ID. When she can't produce one, she's frog-marched to a police vehicle and taken away. The woman was released later that day. Lawsuits accuse ICE of racial profiling. Nearby, in a residential area, ICE officers...
And this is being reported all over the city, right? Racial profiling, basically. It is a sad situation, and if you put this in context too, if you're arresting people at a bus stop, I mean, it's probably just trying to get to work or go to school or wherever that they're going, and you're like, oh, why can't you prove you're an American citizen or whatever? And sometimes you may not necessarily have ID on you or whatever the situation is. I don't know her situation. And then it finds out that she is a U.S. citizen. Oh, okay, you're free to go. But it's like, then you just ruin that person's whole day. Also, traumatically, because we know what happened to Renee Good. It's not a good situation, right? Also, I need to show you this. Children are affected by this stuff. Also, I need to show like the other side of the story of why people are upset. This is a kid, and he explains what's happening at I think a soccer game. Have a listen to this.
Tell me again what the other player told you during games.
So the goalkeeper in futsal, he said some really bad stuff to me, and it just made me get really emotional. In my game, and I rarely get emotional in soccer. And this guy told me I'm an illegal immigrant, even though I was born in America. He said Trump is gonna get me and send me back to where I used to live, and I was born in America. I don't live anywhere else. And then he called me an effing B word, and I just don't get why kids like to say those stuff. It makes me really sad that how they just control their power like that. They think they have power, and it's just not nice.
And you know, for me, when I saw this, it brought back just my memories of growing up in USA. So, you know, if you don't understand this kind of stuff, for some people it might be seeing this kind of thing for the first time, because some people think that only certain groups in USA face discrimination, but I just tell you, it's a lot of different groups face discrimination in USA, and it's been like this for years. So that was, I completely understand. That was my childhood. I write about this stuff in my book. It took me many years to heal from these kind of experiences, because it would be on a daily basis kind of thing. And my wife and I, we actually had a conversation about this. What do you tell your kids in these situations? Like, what do you tell your kids? There's no easy answers, right? Do you tell your kids there's just bad kids out there? I mean, like, because that is real. But you also have to take a positive and a way forward to that. It's more like the parents are teaching the kids bad stuff, right? So then, was that message that send? Does that send the message that there are bad parents out there? It's really tough to talk about these things, because you know, you want to teach your kids to be positive. You want to teach your kids to love your neighbors, right? You don't want to treat people like this, and it's just. It brings like a lot of emotion for me. The other thing too, I was thinking about for me in my situation, the other thing, because my wife and I just had a conversation about this, is I just don't want to be around people that are going to treat you like that, right? And the advice I always give people is just find a better neighborhood, find better neighbors, right? Because you can't necessarily change your neighbors if they're going to treat you like that. But it's a tough advice, because sometimes you can't leave where you're at. It's not that easy. I completely understand. I know it's not that easy to change cities, right? You got to go move your roots for different reasons. Everyone can get set in one particular place. So then you also have to think about explaining this stuff to kids. If other people is their only pride is their skin color, they got bigger problems, and you just don't worry about what they say anyway, right? There's a lot of stuff you need to say to a kid in these situations. But the one thing I will say is, for any of this stuff, you may not be able to change the world, but you can change it one person at a time. And I think one of the things that I find really important in this period is to give all of you different voices and different points of view on stuff, and to understand sort of where we are right now. Let me show you an example of this. There are certainly people fighting back against the Trump people.
54 lawsuits we've brought in less than a year, more than one a week.
On Trump's recent announcement that he plans to withhold federal funding from sanctuary cities, Bonta says it's a fight California has already won.
I imagine that there were some attorneys that grabbed him after he made those comments and said, hey boss, you might not want to do this and say that, because we've already lost on this 4 times. California's beat us multiple times. We also beat them in Trump 1.0 on the same issue.
And I just want to say, this is from Rob, and Rob says, since President Trump has taken office, I filed 54 lawsuits against him and his administration, more than one a week. If he continues breaking the law, California will continue holding him accountable, right? Both of these things are important to share. So one is, teach your kids to create a better world, right? Do the best that you can with that. And then 2, understand that you're not alone. And also, like in this situation, sure, Trump's going to try to do all sorts of illegal stuff, but go to the approach of like, okay, if you're going to do 54 illegal things, I'm going to file 54 lawsuits. I'm going to beat you every time, because the law is on our side and the Constitution is on our side. So I'm happy that, Attorney General like Bonta exists, and many attorney generals out there in multiple states are doing similar things. I also want to show you that there are Americans stepping forward to contribute.
I'm going to be as clear as I possibly can be. The people that you see terrorizing American cities, racially profiling your neighbors, and even targeting indigenous communities, those aren't some perversion of ICE. That's not a distortion of ICE. That is ICE. We need to look at it for exactly what it is and what it has been allowed to become. ICE as an institution is beyond reform. It no longer serves its stated function. Its brutality and use as a weapon against the American public are now its defining features. Nobody should accept a federal government invasion into their communities. No one should have to trade liberty and privacy for what the White House self-servingly defines as safety. No president, Republican or Democrat, should have one of the world's most well-funded armies at their personal disposal to wield as they see fit against the American public. And no agent or institution of the government should have absolute immunity and zero accountability. Now is not the time to mince words or play politics. It's not time to send the Gestapo to sensitivity training or tweak their standard operating procedures while we pump more and more resources into them to weaponize against the American people.
So that's Kyle Blomquist. He's in Michigan, and hopefully one of many voices we'll be seeing more of come midterms. We also have this. This is Nancy LaCour, and she's running for Congress in South Carolina. She just announced it today. She's a former admiral, a Navy pilot, and I think she's a really, really great candidate. I'll just be frank with you. Listen to what she has to say.
Many people consider service a sacrifice. I consider it a privilege. For 35 years, I served in the United States Navy with the belief that service, honor, and integrity matter. That these are the qualities of true leaders. But it's not what our political leaders believe today. My name is Nancy LaCour. After decades of service to our country, a career that started as a Navy pilot and finished as a 3-star admiral, I was removed from my position without cause, along with dozens of other senior military leaders. After I left the Pentagon that day, I never put the uniform on again. But I am not done serving. My love of country is why I put the uniform on in the first place. And it's exactly why I can't stand by while Americans and South Carolinians are struggling. We have families that do everything right but can't afford a home. Veterans are promised care and then forced to fight for it. Healthcare costs keep rising while Washington keeps arguing. And too many politicians care more about party politics than standing up for the Constitution. That should concern every American. The only thing I love more than serving this great country is my family. After the Navy, my husband Patrick and I chose to be near our grown children in a community that shares our values: honor, integrity, respect, faith, love of country. These values guided us as we raised our 6 children. I care about my kids' futures, and I care about your kids' futures. That's why I'm stepping up. Our leaders in Congress are not working for us. They have lost the courage to act, to fight for, and to serve the people they represent. I've spent decades serving our country, and I still have more to give, more to fight for, and more work to do. I'm not done yet.
So again, this is Nancy LaCour. She's running for Congress in South Carolina. And I'll just be frank, I think she makes an absolutely fantastic candidate. And essentially what we're seeing, we're going to see a lot more Americans step forward because you're not alone, guys. You can see it. I can see it. The direction of the country is absolutely awful. And Trump, and if you get another successor to Trump, if they're going to go for Vance or Rubio, whoever they're going to push, this be terrible for the country. I mean, I don't want to go down this path any longer. And it's not just the country, it's the world. And so I think there's going to be a lot of really great candidates that step up, and you're going to see a really great rebound. I know that some people say, oh, Chris, it's never going to get better again. Oh, Chris, there's going to be no midterms. Guys, this is who's coming up through the ranks. We got some really great people coming. And also with what we're seeing as well, is people becoming more aware of like, hey, I need to take care of our neighbors, right? Even though there's bad things going on, and I'm showing you the stuff that's happening, also look at the positive things that's going on, is that people are protecting their neighbors and do care about other people. Not all of us are greedy individuals like the Trumpers. Not all of us, whine about, oh, why didn't I get the Nobel Peace Prize, or, and whatever nonsense that he's pulling on a daily basis. There are people who generally care about other people, and you're seeing it here. So I think things are looking up, in my opinion. I know it looks bleak right now because Trump's an absolute moron, but you can see that people are pushing him away. And this is something that you just never give up the fight. I'll just leave it at that. So I do appreciate your time. You are not alone, and I'll catch you all in the next video.